Welcome back. Time to head to South Dakota to see who our players of the year are, and we are going to start in Class AA with the boys. So this field came down to 4 finalists. Cole Bergen of Aberdeen Central, who turned in a dominant season, especially in the second half of the year. Matthew Moores, the freshman phenom who led the class in scoring and helped Yankton win a state title. Peyton Zabel, who averaged a double-double and nearly 20 points per game for Pierre. And Jaron Zwagerman of Oberman, who was an inside-outside threat for the Knights. Tough to pick just one of them from this group. But to make that choice, we bring in Jason Andera. So tell us about your decision in Boys AA, Jandy.
Yeah, always a very tough decision. It comes down to just a few players. And in this class, it came down to a lot of players and a lot of kids who really started getting better toward the end of the season. Let's start by talking about our first player on the list here, Cole Bergen. This is a guy who was really a star as a sophomore, started getting better and better, but filled out his body as a senior, and he took over. He could shoot from the outside. You see him sinking a 3 here. He was much better on the inside, and of course defensively, not many big guys in the state wanted to man up with a guy like Cole Bergen. So he, with 15 points a game, nearly 10 boards a game, really took control. Let's take a look at the next person on our list right here. That is Peyton Zabel, our player of the year in football in AA. In basketball, he's not too bad either. Like Kelly said, averaged a double-double this year, almost 20 points a game. He is a force to be reckoned with for Pierre, even though the season didn't quite turn out the way they wanted to. Let's take a look at the next player on our list, Jaron Zwagerman. This guy had a great year, maybe overperformed his potential more than anybody else in this class. Led a very young Sioux Falls Oberman team in scoring this year, and he took a brunt of it. Outside shooter, good inside shooter at 6'4", can really dribble the ball and play all over the court. Great senior season for Jaron Zwagerman, but when it comes down to it, our player of the year is, yes, Matthew Moores. Just a freshman, already over 1,000 points for his career. He's been playing since he was a 7th grader, but boy, he showed up in a big way this year. Took his game to another level, going for 86 points over 3 days at the state tournament. He makes all the clutch shots. He can make outside shots. You know, he had a growth spurt between his 8th grade year and his 9th grade year, but most kids kind of get awkward in that time. He was smooth, and he got even smoother, I think, as a freshman this year. He really could set up his teammates, post guys on the inside, super quick, probably underrated a little bit on what he does defensively. A tremendous, tremendous basketball player, and I don't think we've seen the best out of Matthew Moores quite yet, Kelly.
Oh my gosh, yeah, just a freshman, so 3 more years of the opponents dealing with him.
That's
I'm
right.
Sure some of the coaches in AA aren't very happy about that, but yeah, exciting to see him do so well.
He's
just
huge.
A young kid. All right, so that is our Class AA Boys Player of the Year. 3 candidates for the Girls AA Player of the Year. That's Peyton Burkhardt, the 2-time champ, headed to Brookings next year, and then 2 sophomores, Morgan Hansen of Sioux Falls Lincoln, who helped her team to a 2 seed at state, and Emma Rancic, who burst onto the scene, averaging nearly 20 points per game. So Jandy, Player of the Year, Girls AA, who do you got?
You know, it's kind of interesting on this list. We've got a couple good seniors, but we've got some really strong sophomores on this list. And let's start by talking about some of these sophomores. First, for Sioux Falls Lincoln, Morgan Hansen. She really had a big job to do this year with no Breck. There's been a Breck leading the Lincoln team in scoring over the last, I'm going to say 5 years. I'm not sure on that number, but for a long time. And she, as a sophomore, really adopted that role of being the go-to scorer. And with her length on defense, her rebounding ability, her outside shooting ability, she is going to pose a real threat. I think she's a D1 prospect for sure. Morgan Hansen had a tremendous sophomore season. Speaking of great sophomore seasons, though, no one better than this one. Emma Rancic of Sioux Falls Oberman, another sophomore that really took the scoring load for her team this year. And not only the scoring load, but 9 rebounds per game to go with her almost 20 points per game. She's going to get better and better. And again, with her height and her length, she could just be a real post player, but is great on the perimeter as well. Emma Rancic, watch out for her. But all that being said, it's really pretty clear who the Player of the Year is in this class, and that's Peyton Burkhardt. She's the daughter of 2 college basketball players. Peyton has really been balling her whole life, loves the sport of basketball, and had a fantastic senior season. 25 points per game, 11 boards per game, and her defense was amazing as well. She's going to go to SDSU to play next year in the Summit League, and I think she'll fit right in. She talked to me a little bit about playing with some of the players like excuse me, Tylee Irwin was on her summer team, and Maya Sellen was on her summer team, and seeing them have success in their freshman year really gives her some confidence that she's going to be able to play in the Summit League at a high level next season.
Yeah, I'm excited to see her play for Aaron Johnson's squad. What a player. Thanks, Jandy.
You bet.
All right, coming up next, it's on to the Class A Players of the Year in South Dakota, and there were a lot to choose from. Find out who made Jandy's list when we come back.